So I think it's normal for people to meet this kind of topic with defensiveness. And I think I even initially was triggered by it and had those like same sentiments and reactions and wanted to say, you know, well, I have Black friends and I've had this experience with a Black man and Black woman and all that stuff. And that's why I didn't say anything for the first few days, because I was processing my own emotions as to not like fall into a state of defensiveness and add to the collective kind of anger and defensiveness mentality and all of this. But the truth is, again, with the pandemic, coming off the pandemic, we focused and talked a lot about how our small little bubbles, our micro worlds, and the issues we typically have in those and the way we live our lives is being played out on a macro level, you know, across the planet and across the world and across the country and across the state. So the same issues that come up in our normal day-to-day lives, our same ways of coping or not coping, our same defensiveness that comes up in everyday life when we don't want to talk about something or we don't want to actually put effort into changing something, comes out across in a macro level across the country. And that's what's happening now. So while I can sit here and get defensive, when I calm down enough, I can also realize that I'm incredibly lucky, I'm incredibly privileged, and I am lucky and privileged to be white. And I have been aware of racism and systemic racism, and I'm aware that it exists. I don't deny that. But in that awareness and in that acceptance of it, it just kind of leads to stagnation. Yes, that is something that happens. That is sad. I feel sad for that, and I will continue on my life. So in not having done anything that I can think of that's overt or even plausible or real to directly combat and confront racism over the course of my life, I mean, I can absolutely say with certainty that I have contributed to the continuation of that system, you know, and that's just the truth. And I can also say things like, well, I didn't know what to do. And I found myself saying a lot, well, they need to change legislation and they need to offer programs about this. And they, over the last 2 days, and realize that they is me. They is us. We are adults in the society. We are they. It is up to us. So I think having these conversations and allowing people to feel what they feel is really important, and giving platforms to do that. And like I said, they is us. The conversation starts with us. We are they. Anything that we are accepting and then doing nothing about, when we know that it leads to pain and is unjust, perpetuates it. So yes, all of us have had a hand in this, and it comes down to, it's okay to be defensive. It's okay to work through that and to let it go. But it's just important to fall back on what we really believe in. If we believe in oneness, if we talk about it, it's time to put that into action. If we believe that we're part of something bigger and that we're all connected, it's time to live by that. If we are all connected and we are part of something bigger and oneness exists, then all of us unequivocally have a hand in perpetuating what's happened and continuing it and allowing it to go on. We also have a hand in changing it, period. There's no they outside of us. We are all connected by it. We've all created it. We've all maintained it. And it's happening on a macro level, but it's absolutely no different than any other relationship, any other personal relationship, where you are always at least 50% responsible for the creation, and the maintenance of that dynamic as long as it exists. If that dynamic exists and you are in it, you are responsible for the creation and the maintaining of it. Just like on a macro level, if we're all connected and we are all part of this system and oneness exists, we are all responsible for the creation and the maintaining of this dynamic, and we are all responsible for changing it, period. We don't get to cherry pick the beliefs anymore and then decide when they're applicable and when we're not. So I'm inviting people and challenging them to figure out what they really believe in and actually stand by those beliefs. And I know from like the spiritual community, from a yoga community and that kind of thing, if you believe in the concept of oneness, then you absolutely have a hand in what's happening right now. And you've had a hand in maintaining that dynamic. For people who spent their lives advocating and combating systemic racism. We see you, we hear you, and thank you for patiently waiting for us to join you. The fight doesn't need to be in your front yard, and your front yard doesn't need to be on fire to finally understand that, like, you got to do something. And not just once, but over the long haul. We're all connected, and it's time for us to live that way.